I played one league with this deck last night. I ended up losing for 5-0 against Tron, which feels really bad because I feel like our Tron matchup is great with like 4 main deck C's, the Forces, the Esper Sentinels, but sometimes they just Tron you. You know what I mean? But this list is kind of a culmination of a lot of ideas we've been having. One of the main ones is that Esper Sentinel is a really underplayed card in Modern. Like it's amazing in Hammer Time and sees almost no play outside of that, but is just like a good fair threat. I think it fits very well in this Stoneforge shell here. And then Spreading Seas is an excellent main deck card. This card is just like 2 mana Stone Rain against a lot of decks. It's good against Urza Saga, and I've always liked it in the Stoneblade shell too. We're main decking a Rest in Peace, which I think at least the first copy is good to main deck at the moment. And then kind of in the same way that blue-white Chalice control decks main deck Chalice of the Void, I'm main decking Sanctum Prelate. We've done this before, but what's nice here is like usually if you play Chalice, you can't play Sentinel, but Sentinel's a creature which doesn't get affected by Sanctum Prelate on 1, which is really nice. We also get access to Solitude, which is a pretty good card in the format. A couple of Force of Negations, which Force of Negation always gets extra stock when you're playing Stoneforge Mystic, because just slamming Stoneforge Mystic, forcing the removal spell, and putting in Kaldra Batterskull is usually a pretty strong play. I know we've got a lot of white sources for Archmage's Charm, but we also have 4 Mystic Gates. This is something I don't think you can do in 3-color decks as much, right? Like a lot of times in my 3-color Archmage's Charm decks, you often have to have a Triome in those decks. In this deck, I'm no nonsense. But, I've got 4 Mystic Gates for my 3 white sources. I'm not that worried about it. And it's also true with all of these white 1-mana spells. I went 14 lands that enter untapped and tap for white on turn 1. And it's really hard to do that without these lands here. Is there no need for Wrath? I usually hate Wraths in these decks. Like, we're playing... Like, one thing is, like, Kaldra Batterskull do like a really good job of locking up a lot of board states, but you're playing 11, 12, 13, you're playing 13 creatures. It's just like Wraths I think are we're playing a lot of creatures, so I don't feel like this is a good Wrath deck. Like you could play with Supreme Verdict though, but we're also playing Engineered Explosives in our sideboard as our Wrath. Yeah, I have a Geist in the sideboard. I think the first Geist is good. I don't know, that's maybe just copium. But I actually kind of feel like it is. But, because there are a lot of matchups where you want to set like your Spreading Seas and your Rest in Pieces and your Forces. So, like, you do need cards like guys like Shark Typhoon to, have spots. In the blind, I don't know if I want to keep this. Let's go ahead and send this back. Yikes. The old Plains, Counterspell, Archmage's Charm. What have I done? Okay, let's keep this, though. I'm going to put back at least 1 Flooded Strand, and then I guess I'll put back Ending. Pretty good 5. Yeah, I don't think... I think that I like Prelate more in the main deck. Geist is also just not good against every deck. Is this why basic planes are bad? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're like a very white-heavy deck. I think this is just a concession you have to make. And you've got, again, the Mystic Gates, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. Remember when the Sand had a Prismatic Ending? Banned it, I think, for 2 months. That being said, Sanctum Prelate is very good against them. I just, guessed incorrectly. Mold a 5. Deck must be terrible. Alright, they exile Cave of the Frost Dragon. We'd love to get to counterspell like Expressive Iteration here, slam Sanctum Prelate. Although I will counter a Channeler. Why mold the first hand? It's in the blind, like the hand was all like reactive cards, and it was 2 pitch cards. I feel like any like hand on the play in an unknown matchup that has a creature is one that I'm going to be like way more excited to keep, or like better interaction. It seemed like the average 6 was better than that hand, Yeah, we'll name 1 if this resolves, but looks like it's getting counterspelled. Their draw definitely lined up well against mine. I did play this matchup last night. Oh no, I played against Grixis Death Shadow, actually, but it seemed like pretty good. Only one match though, small sample size of that matchup. This is a more control version of Stoneblade. I don't know if I'd say that. Maybe I'd say that. What is control? Did I say Bandit thanks for the 2 months? I think I did. Either way, thanks. And Q Presidente, 7 months. Appreciate ya. So we're gonna bring in the rest of the Rest in Pieces. Cut the Spreading Seas. I think I'm bringing in... I'm trying to remember. I had a sideboard plan all mapped out here. I just wasn't sure. I was going to cut the Forces. I was going to bring in the Flusterstorms. And then I think that this last... Sorry, get out of here. I think the last card was the Geist. But I wasn't sure about the Geist. But this was the last one. Yeah, it's like... This wasn't something I'm sure about, but it seems decent. I guess I could also play Chalice. Yeah, Chalice is probably better than Geist. Or what if I did something like this? Bring in the Chalice, the Geist, cut the 4th Stoneforge Mystic, and cut the Maul. Seems pretty good. Esper Sentinel's really good in this matchup. Those things are better, guys. Yeah. You could maybe just play the 3rd Typhoon over Geist on the board. This is Cave of the Frost Dragon, not Cave of the Forgotten. The white D&D manland. The list felt pretty good last night. I feel like we're doing a lot of things good here. I really like the main deck Prelates. I think this is an underplayed card in the format, but it's kind of hard to find a good home for it, right? And then we're also playing a Breeding Pool as our 3rd color land for Prismatic Ending. I've got snow-covered lands in the Breeding Pool to bluff Ice Fang, because we're a Stoneblade deck. Any consideration for 1 Graveyard Hate in the main and 60 over Spreading Seas? Well, we are main decking a Rest in Peace, and we're main decking 4 Spreading Seas, so I've considered it and done it. Aren't 3 Rest in Peace a bit much? Rest in Peace is amazing right now. We're not main decking 3, but we're main decking 1 siding 2. Rest in Peace is really good in Modern at the moment. I even think you could play 4, to be honest. Alright, another basic hand, a basic plains counterspell hand, but I'm going to keep. I think I'm going to lead on the basic plains. Thank you, Chess, for shoveling some coal. Yeah, only on Fridays now. Well, I'll make sure to welcome you every Friday, buddy. Yeah, Breeding Pool is just for ending in EE. Wouldn't Jeskai Triumph be better? Yeah, Jeskai Triumph enters tapped, and like with like this deck has a much lower mana curve than control decks. Control decks are a lot easier able to justify the tap land than a deck like this, in my opinion, and in my experience. I really think that you want to play a shock land instead in decks with lower curves like this. You know what I mean? Like your mana's already like really good. Like having the Triumph also be a dual land, I don't even think is that relevant. Your mana's like really good because you're only 2 colors, and yeah, I've been pretty happy with the list. Oh, we get to draw a card off a bauble. It's pretty good. Yeah, Sentinel's so good against these decks. Sentinel is really, really underplayed, I think. Misty Gate would be nice. Yeah, this Misty instead. They mill over an island. And we just still have the 2 Sentinels in play, too, which is always the wild part about this. Mill over a Murktide. They have a 3rd bauble, maybe? Well, still, this is the only play. Didn't find the 3rd land. I think I'm getting Kaldra. And what's nice is, like, if they find a land, they can bolt the Stoneforge Mystic, but that's their whole turn unless they let me draw cards. I'm not trading Sentinel for Channeler here. That's something I've really learned, like, playing the other side of these matchups, is that it's like you're really, really happy when they trade Sentinel. When they trade Sentinel for something. Sentinel is just absurd, so absurd against them. 3 mana Serum Visions. And then this gives them Delirium. They have to attack. Then we crack back for 7, put them to 7. This is also their whole turn. And this is with us like missing our 3rd land drop too. Although there it is. Oh, there it is. We get Teferi. I'm just gonna Kaldra them though. Yeah, then Sentinel, like, you know, kind of incidentally makes Stoneforge Mystic better, too. You know what I mean? Where, like, you're just, like, bogging down the early game, bogging down their removal. I might be interested in a Force of Negation on the draw. I might cut the 3rd Rest in Peace on the draw. Kind of like that. Underplayed, isn't it played in every non-control white deck? It's... Esper Sentinel sees play in exactly Hammer Time, and what other deck like plays Esper Sentinel? I mean, maybe there are some Taxes lists that play Esper Sentinel, but Esper Sentinel is like, or Taxes is a super undefined archetype that doesn't have a, yeah, it doesn't have like a super defined list. Humans, does Humans play Sentinel? I feel like a lot of lists I see don't play it, but sometimes they play it. But you know, even if like a couple, like these decks are not popular, and these decks at the very least don't have super defined lists. Some Zulus have it. I mean, yeah, exactly. I feel like, I mean, like some like fringe decks sometimes play it, but even if these decks are some other decks play it, it's still super underplayed, chat. You like basically never see it outside of Hammer Time, but there are some fringe decks that play it, of course. My opponent's kept 7. His hand is so bad against Ragavan, but I think we have to keep. Awesome. How good is rejection at the moment? Not terrible. Oh, now I wish they had the Ragavan. What do you think about 4-color Shadow with Sentinel and Ending? I'm not sure exactly how good Sentinel plays in Shadow. It's probably fine. I'm going to Flusterstorm this. Oh, they missed their land, and we get to Chalice them. Pretty good. Let's go, man. All right, round 1 was shaky. We had that Mold to 5, but that was a really good showing. But my headphones, did they die? Obviously awkward. K with Frost Dragon, Archmage's Charm. Maybe we'll draw Mistigate. Maybe we'll just cast this on turn 4 after casting Prelate on 3. Why not Chalice for Esper Sentinel? Well, it's a mana curve consideration, right? It's all a mana curve consideration. Where like that's the biggest problem with the Chalice decks is they just have like they have only Ending as a turn 1 play. Where's the deck? If you play Chalice, like you're just so glutted at 2 mana, it's like a big problem. But if you play Sentinel, your curve is a lot better. And Sentinel's also like cracked, and you get to play Sanctum Prelate as like a Chalice effect while keeping a good 1-mana creature. You know what I mean? Like Prelate is like a Chalice with the Void anyways. Looks like we're playing against Esper Control. And I think my plan against Esper with Prelate is to name 4. That's another thing is like I'm not playing Jace, I'm not playing Cryptic. So against control decks, I name 4 with Prelate, which stops Verdict, stops Cryptic, stops, you know, Jace. But maybe I'll play... No, I should use my mana more efficiently, I think, and play Prelate here. I'm becoming the villain? I've always been the villain, nerds. I've always been the villain. Oh, they might be Reanimator. Let's see if they put a card in the yard. They put Counterspell in the yard. Maybe I should name 1. Yeah, if they're a Fatal Push deck, I'll name 1. They definitely seem scared of me naming 1. Yeah, 1/1, draw a card, eat a removal spell. Sentinel's just so freaking good. Prismatic Ending X3, it's fine. Big draw step. Big draw. I'd like to find a land to keep these 3 lands in our opening hand. Bummer. And the worst possible draw. Okay. Explosives X equals 3. It's fine. Still no lands. Had 5 looks. No, 6 looks. It's a fairy draw. Yeah. Maul is also like really good on Sentinel. Although I'm probably gonna side out Maul for the Sword of Feast and Famine against Control. Am I going to Las Vegas event in November? I think so. Yeah, I registered. I'm pretty sure I'm going. You know, it got announced yesterday, so like it's a little early to say 100%, but I think so. Yeah, seems fun. I'm glad that they've got the mask and vaccine or proof of negative COVID test requirement. It's definitely like how you have to do it. It'll be fun. Does Ugly Gaze make the counterbalance dream more real? No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. Not the worst idea I've ever heard, though. Alright, there's the land. I'm pretty sure I just Kaldra them. Yeah, so Channel Fireball, you know, obviously familiar with those guys. Not that they asked me to promote it or anything. They are hosting a big... It's like a GP that's not officially sponsored by Wizards, right? They're hosting a big $25,000 tournament for Modern and a $25,000 tournament for Limited in November in Las Vegas. And I'm probably going to go. They just announced it yesterday. Yeah, I registered just because, like, I would hate for it to fill up and then, you know, I'm not registered. But, you know, I'm not, you know, I think I'm going to go. I really think I'm going to go. I talked to Esther. She wants to go, too, really badly. She's always wanted to go to one of these tournaments with me. And so I do think it's going to happen. But I want to make sure that people know I might, you know, not. Might always bail. Have any bailers in the chat? Pretty sure I'm supposed to try to resolve my other Teferi here. And then I think I bounced my Stoneforge Mystic. It's kind of close, but if I draw a land, I get to Kaldra. But if I don't draw a land, I just draw the Kaldra next turn, then I'm sad I bounced the Mystic. The upside seems there, though. A deck tech for Fats. The greatest deck of all time. I'm looking for the Battle of Wits. There's a lot of cool cards in here. Oh, the Jade Avengers. just all the best hits. I don't hate it. You probably don't need 4 Archons of Cruelty. That's maybe a note I have. You could probably get away with just 1. Actually, it seems like a very well. Besides, I mean, there's Arc like Phoenix, Stimulant, Valky, but besides that, it doesn't look that bad. Oh, and then the Tron sideboard, very good. Very, very good, even. I think we've got Teferi in play. I'm just gonna get this Kaldra down. They might have a Shark Typhoon here, but it looks like they're just gonna castle. Oh yeah, need a Yorion in your Battle of Wits deck. Come on. Yeah, you could cut one of your Tron sideboard cards for a Yorion. Dude, Battle of Wits Tron sounds really fun. Has Trellon ever done Battle of Wits Mono Blue Tron? Seems like a good idea. Okay, so we're playing against Esper Control. I want to cut the Spreading Seas. I want to cut the Rest in Peace. I want to cut the Maul for the Feast and Famine. I want to cut these Solitudes. Might not have enough cards to bring in. These are the good ones. Then we're like 5 cards short. So don't want the Solitudes. I feel like you can play like 2 endings for Teferi, Time Raveler. Could maybe play Spreading Seas. Cantrips can mess with their mana, especially double white. It's probably what we have to do. I don't think I want the Rest in Peace just for like their Snapcasters. Although they are playing Consider. So they may be a little bit more graveyard focused than I expect. But they seem like just like regular Esper control. I don't want Rest in Peace just for like Geist. Yeah, it's true. Seas also does play well with Teferi. This looks like how we should sideboard. The matchup seems like decent too. Love how carefully you ever pronounce Trellon. Yeah, well, that's why I found out I was pronouncing it wrong for like months. So I wanted to make sure I make the effort to pronounce it right. Considers played over up for Snapcasters. Yeah, I'm not even sure it's like that's even like a good enough reason, but maybe. Thoughtseize, it's fine. What's the other artifact? This is a Manriki-Gusari, which is it's an equipment that if you equip it to a creature, you can destroy other equipment, and this is for specifically the Hammer Time matchup. I think if you're playing a Stoneblade deck like this, with Hammer Time being as popular as it is, Manriki is like a pretty good sideboard card. All right, Geist of St. Traft confirmed good. They took it with Thoughtseize. Don't at me. I like Solitude the Flesher that might actually answer a creature they bring in. What creature are they bringing in? I mean, they probably have some Typhoons, but we've got like other answers to that. I might Spreading Seed. No, I should just Stoneforge, I think. Then let's get Feast and Famine, I think. Build the Force of Negation. If they have Teferi, we have Ending, but we need a fetch land to get the Breeding Pool. Any chance that this is a Sunset Revelry deck? I played against Burn twice last night. I beat it both times. Like, the matchup seems pretty good without Sunset Revelry. But you could play it. You could play it over the Rest in Peace in the main. This is Explosives? This looks like Explosives, which oh, it's Murktide. Okay, well that explains the Considers. We do have some outs to this. Not as many as I might like, though. I don't like to swear that much on stream, Panda, but I do hope that your issues get resolved sooner rather than later. I guess Chow was right. They might have a Murktide. So you've got. I guess it's just Teferi as an answer to this. So cut them off of white or black. Let's go try to cut them off black. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance we can erase, at least with our hand. Just need to find a Teferi. And we do have Counterspell to protect it now, which is nice. Brad, thank you for the happy anniversary. 1 year. Weird looking Maverick deck. Every deck is a Maverick deck. Alright, we're gonna get one more try. Or one more look. And at least we get to get the Spreading Seas out of the deck. Like, we'll probably play 1 or 2 Rest in Peace, so then 1 or 2 Solitude. Yeah. I can't afford to fight over this. I need to save this Counterspell to protect our top deck Teferi, huh? Oh, they have a Snapcaster. Which I have to counter or I'm dead on board, so... countering. If I top deck Teferi, sing the name. I commit to it. I'll do it. Alright, deck failed me. Murktide looking very good. Maybe I'll trim a Prelate. Oh, I didn't mean to. Sorry, I meant to cut the 4 Cs. So let's play 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Solitude, 1 Prismatic Ending. guess I'll play the Prelate. There's nothing better. I don't think I went 3 Rest in Peace. How do we feel about this hand? It probably has to be a keep. Guess we get the Breeding Pool. I wonder if they side the Murktides out. I mean, the Murktides might not be in the main deck, but I wonder if they side them out if they, for game 3, thinking I'm going to bring in answers to it. Probably not. You know, I keep getting got by Shadow of Doubt. I've been Shadow of Doubted twice this week. Maybe I'll just try to play around it. Yeah, Breeding Pool just for Prismatic Ending. I've chosen Breeding Pool because I'm also playing Snow-Covered Lands to bluff Ice Fang because I'm a Stoneblade deck. I think that this is better than a Triome. In this deck, at least. Good old end of turn, draw 2. Haven't been doing this enough lately. Hall of the Storm Giants. I can just play that this turn. So they have to play something or they go to discard here. It's a pretty good something. They can maybe Murktide me. They took the Typhoon. Okay, well, I'm going to draw 2 in response. Or try to. I feel like we're getting Murktided. We're also, like, hella flooded. Deck! Why? And we also have, like, the worst spell possible. Like, we only have 1 ending in the deck at the moment, right? Yeah, only 1 in the deck. Guess that gives me a chance to win a fight. Probably not. Looks like we need to cut some lands, no cap. Well, if you would not be capping. We've also been mana screwed this league, right? I think 22 is the correct number. I wouldn't play less than 22. Why do you do this to me, Teferi? Why do you show up at like the very last second and just get countered? Obviously, you're getting countered. Flusterstorm is not winning this fight. What? I guess my opponent's as flooded as I am. What the hell? No cast ending first? Why would you cast ending for? Oh, for Storm Count? That's pretty good. So they can re-Murktide, but it's only a 3/3. So we can survive a hit. I think I Flusterstorm this, so they can't Murktide this turn and let this resolve. Then we get to Hall of the Storm Giants them down to 1 life. Not the worst draw either. Should have left up white mana. They can't Murktide anyways. They could Murktide if they played a land. And I gotta assume, I thought they would have had a land with like so many cards that just aren't doing anything. I guess their hand's just all endings. Yeah, what a game. What do you think about Candle Trap? I don't know what that card does. They let me draw a card? Wait, they're counterspelling their own ending. This is to make... I don't know. I don't know what just happened. This is to make the biggest possible Murktide Regent. A 7/7. So it can block the Hall of the Storm Giants. Deal. But I just have the Solitude. So we go Solitude, pitch Prismatic Ending, right? Maybe I should hard cast it. Yeah, we have lethal next turn if we hard cast it. Anyways. Yeah, that was a really cool line. It was obviously like, I had to draw a card. Yeah, they got $1 million for 1. How did we win that game? The Teferi just resolved. It just resolved. They had 6 cards in their hand, and it just resolved. That's at least got to be like top 5 anime comebacks. How's working the deck? Pretty good. I played one league with the deck 5 last night. I feel like I like a lot of the deck decisions here, right? I lost playing for 5-0 last night. We're 2-0 now. Deck's been feeling pretty good. No, they just didn't have a counterspell, I think. I think they just had all prismatic endings. Or removal spells, you know. Yeah, save the counterspell for their own prismatic. I think that they drew it. Yeah, the Hall of the Storm Giants, like, single-handedly won that game. Maybe we should be playing 2. Is this the mirror? It's a little early for a mirror. Yeah, Spring seems pretty good at the moment. Might be on Blue White Texas. Yeah, maybe. I hope so. I don't really want to play a mirror. Oh, they could be playing the deck I was playing last Tuesday. Kind of looks like it so far. This deck. I like this deck. I thought it was pretty good. Kind of soft to spreading seas though, as I found out when I played the deck. Any Stone Rainers in chat? They didn't do anything. I guess no, I should save this for another saga. They didn't even attack. Oh, it kind of seemed like they actually skipped through their turn. I could counter this. I think I want to. I think I'm just kind of interested in countering anything here using my mana. Do they think I'm a Ragavan deck? Why aren't they attacking? Any Steelers in the chat, huh? Oh, they have Metallic Rebuke. Why did I just now figure this out? Why am I just now figuring out they have Rebuke? I don't think I want to counter it. I think I'll just let this go. Yeah, I realized as I cast it. So dumb. Just got too excited to steal, I guess. Yep, well, I think we maybe threw this game away, huh? Ooh, maybe not. Can cut them off of white mana. And then steal even if they do find some white mana. Is that a punt? Yeah, it's a punt. I should have read. I built the deck Tuesday. I should have known they had Rebuke. That's a punt. I don't know what is. If I steal now. If I steal, I'm kind of cold to the Kaldra. Although I get to gain some life off the Sentinel. We got a lot of answers to Kaldra. Okay, not a white source for Kaldra. They do equip onto the Stoneforge, which is fine. Alright, what are we prelating on? 0? Could name 1 for Porto. Yeah, it should be just 1. Then maybe I'll do 0 with the other one. Hopefully they don't find a white source anytime soon. So I like that. Okay, there it is off the top. I mean, not off the top. It's been a few turns. We do have a decent number of answers to this. It's definitely risky, the line we took. Oh, they're going to equip the spear. So this is a 2-turn clock. We can, soak up damage with Sentinel next turn to not die. Maybe 2 if we want to try to draw a fetch land. Yeah, maybe I think I'll just put a Prelate in front of the Kaldra here. Try to top deck. Couldn't have stolen Stoneforge. Archmage's Charm does not steal any permanent. It only steals permanents with mana value 1 or less. Yeah, that Rebuke. Yeah, we obviously like just punted playing right into that. It should have been pretty easy to see. Alright, going to game 2. Could have stolen the token. I know we could. I know. Right, chat, I know. I understand the ways in which we messed up. I'm going to bring in Manriki. It's maybe not good. It doesn't kill Kaldra. Does kill Nettlecyst. If they're playing like in the last version I played, I was playing a ton of Nettlecysts. Explosives is kind of good. Yeah, this is answers tokens from Saga. Answers Portable Hole pretty well. I think I want some explosives. Maybe 2, maybe 3. I like the Sanctum Prelate. I might not want 3 copies of Prelate though. I could cut the Maul if I'm bringing in Manriki, but Maul actually seems kind of good for board stalls. I want the Spreading Seas for Saga. I think I like this. This seems good to me. I slide in Geist for matchups where I'm like boarding out like a lot of the Spreading Seas. I'm boarding out like the main deck Rest in Peace, and mostly in blue matchups. But I think you're gonna end up doing that a lot. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna put back Basic Island. I think it'd be a little greedy. Maybe I should put back a Delta. Put back the island. You put back Sentinel. I would never put back Sentinel here. So no, yeah, we're on the play. Even on the draw, I don't think I'd put it back, but never ever put that one back here. Good draw, of course. Hopefully they play Saga. Could we play more Fire Ice? Not because it's good, because I like the card. Well, I did put in the notification this morning. Please come in and suggest your pet card. So thank you for reading the stream notification. I don't like to play cards just because I like them. But you can. You can play the deck with Sword of Fire Ice. Gorgon, 2 months. Thanks, buddy. Has my opinion changed on Stoneforge's position to meta, or just jamming a deck I'm interested in? Yeah, my opinion's changed a little bit. Not a lot of it, but a little bit. It's kind of complicated, but I just kind of have been liking it again. Especially in this deck that's lower to the ground, like Esper Sentinel specifically, I think adds a lot of value to Stoneforge Mystic, and Mystic is kind of good in like this very graveyard focused metagame. Should probably cycle a Spreading Seas. I guess I'll target the bridge, but it doesn't turn off. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't turn off the artifactness. All right, let's wait. If you steal Portable Hole, it doesn't put the Sentinel back in play. But we could steal it, just to steal. Would I play Test of Talents? I mean, I wouldn't not play Test of Talents, but I think for the most part, Flusterstorm is better. For mana curve considerations in this deck, for beating counterspells, for that relevant matchup, I mostly think it's better. So now, thank you for the 15 months. Appreciate ya. How much do I care about Teferi? Probably enough to counter it. I really want to hold the Spreading Seas for a Saga. I don't know if I can afford that luxury, though. We'll see what we draw. It's a pretty good one. I get to bounce the... Oh. I get to bounce the Spreading Seas. Get a little bit of card advantage. Although I am just going to Kaldra. Or try to, you know, grab a Kaldra at least. Has Headband received the Mark of Shame? I keep forgetting to do it, but we'll do it at some point. Jade Avenger, 15 months. Appreciate ya. Opponent immediately skips their turn. Kind of seemed like a mistake. I'm not sure. They did that earlier, like the really fast F6. Give you tested both like Esper Reanimator or better Chalice. I think it's better as a Chalice deck, but the jury is still out, right? Like my sample size is not large enough to definitively say one way or another, which is better. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna Kaldra, hold up the instant speed ending. If they go Saga and we have used our Spreading Seas, it's a big bad. Yeah, Breeding Pool is here for Prismatic Ending and E. And also, I've chosen Breeding Pool because I think it's the best color to bluff Ice Fang and just play snow covered lands to bluff. Like, I think that you get the most bluff equity from the Breeding Pool, especially when you're me and you play like a lot of bad Bant decks, right? Like that's kind of my brand. So, yeah, I think it's better than Triumph too. Your mana's pretty good. I'm not that interested in a tap land. So we can ending the token, but I think I'd just rather ending the cyst. If you type exclamation point deck in the chat, you can find a few different versions of this deck. I think I like the version I played last the most, but it's not the version I trophied with. I trophied with the version with Urza. But that's, you know, that's always going to be how you get the deck list, is of course the Stream Decker. But I think their deck is decent, you know. I think I like the deck when we were playing it on Tuesday. I trophied with it, I think, Monday night. I do feel like there's something there. But I think that this deck's probably a bit better if you're just looking for the best blue-white Stoneblade deck. But their deck is also like one good cheap artifact away from being really good. Or maybe the deck can be built better too. So keep that in mind as well. I see Star City Games play a lot of decks they built. I mean, they always do, right? Which is cool. I like Corey and Ross a lot. They're just kind of, you know, my biggest fanboys. How many trophies do I have? I think 4 right now. I lost playing for 5-0 with this deck last night. Against Tron, too, which I feel like has got to be a good matchup. Okay, glad this is not Stoneforge with this hand. Yeah, spot on their win. They would have to pay me a lot of money to fly me to Roanoke for a Versus Live. It would be... I would want more money than they would ever reasonably pay, I think. It's just like really bad EV for me to take like 3 days off the stream to go play Versus Live. Rain, 2 months, appreciate ya. My opinion, which is the better modern deck right now? Between these two? I think this one probably. I think I just said that. Although that might not be the question you ask. Yeah, if you Spreading Seas an artifact land, it is still an artifact. Take 2, down to 17. I was really impressed with Ingenious Smith in this deck when I was playing it. Do I just Kaldra? So bad against Portable Hold to just Kaldra here. Yeah, let's just hold up mana. We can Kaldra in combat, which is good because all their removal is sorcery speed. Unless they could have maybe brought in Dispatch. They're certainly acting like they have. I'll bite. That's what I thought. Can't bluff me. So they probably have Portable Hole or something, though. Like how you don't cram Saga's list just cause. Yeah, Saga's not good in decks just cause. You need to have like good synergy with it, like Rin and 6 or a ton of artifacts, or an artifact that you really want to search. Yeah, Living Weapon is a trigger, so you can stifle it. It used to be a somewhat common thing in Legacy. Needle. Interesting. I'm gonna get the second fountain here. Why Smith the Yard? Oh, so yeah, Kaldra's weird, right? Where it only exiles the creature if the creature survives combat. Because the creature's already dead by the time this trigger goes on the stack. It's definitely weird. They have so many artifacts. Hopefully they don't have Thought Monitor. Looks like they do. Bummer. I mean, Monitor is just so good in their deck. If I bounce the token with Teferi, then they just equip. So I can just bounce the Cyst. I can also go Stoneforge Mystic, grab Batterskull, chump, put Batterskull to play. It's probably good. Oh, I can also get Manriki. Manriki's kind of hot here. But I'm taking a huge chunk if they equip. Oh, they named Stoneforge Mystic? Oh, well, I guess I'm definitely getting Manriki. And then I need to think if I'm casting Manriki or if I'm holding up Counterspell. I don't know, I just totally forgot about the needle. I guess I'm a Twitch chatter today. 9. Yeah, the problem is this is just too slow. I mean, I guess I can bounce Thought Monitor. It's just a losing line, though. I can maybe go bounce plus Counterspell next turn. Oh, the Counterspell probably gets something this turn. Let's just hold up the Counterspell. Manriki doesn't work as Stoneforge gets the ability. Ah, right. Dang, that's so bad. So I should have got the Maul then. The old Pithing Needle on basic Swamp to stop Underworld connections. Yeah, the game's not completely over. It probably involves drawing Solitude. We also threw away game 1. My opponent might not really understand how this interaction works, though. They could be thinking I can just kill this next turn. Why did we grab Manriki? Well, they got an Elsist. I should have grabbed Maul though, because we just talked about this nonstop. I guess I have to counter this, otherwise they draw a card. They got another Nettlecist. So they must have the Kaldra already in their hand, right? They must have the Kaldra already in their hand. So, let's steal Kaldra in their beginning of combat step. And then we can equip the Manriki to the Germ token and then blow up a Nettlecist. Oh, they have Needle on Stoneforge. Okay. Then we'll steal the Germ token. Then we'll steal the Germ token post-combat. And then we can use that to blow up the other Nettlecist. But then just go equip. No, it's fine. You can use Stoneforge. I don't mind. So they play the other Nettlecist. I can steal Germ token, equip. Oh, now they just get to... I guess I just have to draw 2. Steel plan does not work into this line. They didn't even activate the Teferi. They've been F6ing so quickly. I don't think we have outs. I don't have like Verdict or anything. And even then it wouldn't really work here. What a weird game. My name is Bronus, 3 months, appreciate ya. Yeah, Needle is difficult. Especially like when you're playing like with like Manriki, which is a card you don't play with that much. Definitely threw away game 1 too. Is what it is. Well, Hall of the Storm Giants did win us a match earlier. Probably should send that one back though. And then on the mulligan, put back Force, although we are on the draw. Yeah, I like the deck a lot too. You make any changes? Because I do feel like the deck is just so hard to build perfect. Yeah, but it is MTG Training Grounds. Cave Dan's list, he said it feels like Ponder with Flashback. It is not Ponder with Flashback. It is so much worse than that. I haven't seen Cave Dan's list though. But, I mean, calling it Ponder with Flashback is just... That feels very disingenuous. Oh, bro, thank you for the... the tier 1 through November. Very cool. Like the card might be like quietly good, but it is not Ponder with Flashback, you know. Spike has never exaggerated Magic card. I try not to. I try not to. I kind of want a Spreading Seas. You said paying 3 mana with Therapeutic stuff is bad, but it's exactly what the back half of Faithful Mending is. I mean, Mending, being a discard outlet is completely different because it can unlock. If you're discarding cards for value, you're drawing cards. If you discard a Phoenix to Mending, that is as good as drawing a card. I think we're supposed to jam Teferi with Counterspell up. There's recipes. We have nothing that uses the graveyard. I think I counter back. They don't have any white mana, which is why I'm kind of fine countering back. So it's harder for them to play Teferi. Obviously, they can have white mana too. But just like sitting them and letting them castle is kind of awkward, you know. A little floody. Yeah, you're much more likely, I think, to be able to discard Phoenix than to surveil it. Although you'd have to do the math. But like, you have 8 good cards in the deck. I guess you have 12 if you count Mending to surveil into the yard, and you like, I believe that you're like less than 50% to surveil a good card into the yard, right? When you cast Gaze, it will when it happens, it's great, of course. And sometimes you could like scry. Although a lot of people are cutting Serum Visions for Gaze. Like, I think that if you play Gaze, you need to play Serum Visions. Oh, what happened here? You need to play Serum Visions so you can surveil. You can scry things to the top and then surveil them into the yard with Gaze. But a lot of people just cut the visions. I guess that's fair because like you can't really make room otherwise, but. With Mending, you can hold Mending until you find the Phoenix, you know, to ensure that it's going to be card advantage for you, or at least card filtering. What do you think about Fact or Fiction Esper Animator? I think it would be worse than Gifts. And you don't really want too many 4-mana spells anyways, but it would be worse than Gifts, I think. But a card on top, but they're missing their land drop. It's kind of weird. Surprisingly good draw. If you scry something top of surveil with Gaze, isn't that equivalent to just surveilling with Gaze? Well, it's just like when you cast it, you know that you're going to get value. Like when you scried something to the top, then you know it's good to use your mana to Gaze, right? There's just some synergy there. You know, obviously that's not what your whole deck is built around. But with mono blue control over there, it's just like some synergy. No, Shark Typhoon, please. I guess I could have just not attacked. But Otherworldly Gaze, it really strikes me as the kind of card that is insane sometimes and mediocre most of the time and really bad sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's the kind of card that it's insane sometimes, and players like who like want to make it work, they like really hyper focus on when it's insane and don't like really acknowledge as much like the times where it's not as good. And I know because I've done this with cards too, of course. Screeves 9 months, thanks you, buddy. Tony 2 months. Well, that resolved. Loving the Esper Animator, made a Stoneforge Mystic variant. Awesome, awesome. I can't main deck recipe, so I'm playing Murktide. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Alright, so the recipe stops the flashback, so I don't think I'm supposed to counter that. Maybe I am. We're super behind. They have 9 cards in their hand. Isn't Gaze in the current low enough card to give Counterbalance a chance? Someone mentioned that earlier. I'm not a believer. But, I don't know. Maybe. It's like, I don't know. I'm not a believer. You guys can play with Gaze, and then like you guys can break it. You guys can, you know, do well with Gaze if it's good. I don't think I'm gonna spend time playtesting it because I really strongly don't like the card. And if you'll prove me wrong, right? Just prove me wrong. That just resolved? What's happening today? What's happening? My Teferis are just resolving. I guess they have Shark Typhoon. I'll get the Batterskull down, I guess. They just have to have Shark Typhoon here, right? They Memory Deluge. There's no way their hand is that bad. What's my pick on best Pioneer card from MH1? Midnight Hunt? I don't care. I don't care. I am not invested in Pioneer at the moment. Maybe one day I will be again, but I'm not going to devote any of my very limited brain power to thinking about best card for Pioneer. Cracked in Standard? Maybe. I don't know. It's, yeah. Again, it's like, I think, you know, the Gaze believers, we can just disagree. I've said my piece, you've said your piece, and I hope that you guys prove me wrong. I hope that you guys win some tournaments with Gaze, but I'm just not going to try it. Erdin, 2 months. Thanks, buddy. This is my Hail Mary. I think I'm going to name 4. How do you like the Indian 2-cost shell? Pretty good. I have a Breeding Pool in the deck. Breeding is, you know, just one of the best cards in the format. Go, Kaldra, go! Kaldra has Split Second and Hexproof. Go, Kaldra! Fly like the wind. Whoa, it hit them. Okay. It hit them. They probably have Ending, though. Or Teferi. Yeah. I don't have my Breeding Pool to Ending the Teferi. I think I'm packing it in. Alright, we'll just see if this resolves. And maybe I'll Prismatic Ending the token, but I might not bother. Okay, I guess we're still playing. I just love to concede, and my opponent's not letting me. Dino's moving on to game 5. That's awesome. Blakey, 17 months. So, you guys should follow Dinos and Gil. He's a Dark Souls, or Soulsborne no-hit streamer. and he's currently doing the God Run 2, which is beating Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro in a row without taking a hit. He's currently done Sekiro, Bloodborne 1 and 2, and he's moving on to, looks like, yeah, ending on Dark Souls 3 is good because he's really, really good at Dark Souls 3. I think that's his best game. So you should go give him a follow. Definitely gonna be keeping an eye on this. Go, Germ Token, go! Okay. Second time playing against Esper Control this league. Is this the same opponent? No, it's not. Our first opponent had Murktide region, so I don't know what to make of that. How long does it take to do a full run? So like Sekiro takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then Dark Souls usually takes like 3-ish. And Dark Souls 3 also takes like 3-ish. Dark Souls 2 is kind of like 2.5. And then Bloodborne's kind of shorter, like 1.5. And Demon Souls is maybe the longest. That one's like can be like 3 or 4. And so it's like a 10+ hour run. It's very, very long. It takes multiple days. And he's done some of these runs before. He's done he did the whole run at level 1 without not including Sekiro, but he did the whole run at level 1 not including Sekiro. Which is very impressive. Never had been done before too. Am I supposed to like hedge against Murktide? Is Murktide just stock? Up by 1. Solitude. And then bring in more if I see Murktide. 15, 16 hours. Yeah, that sounds about right. It varies a lot just depending on like... Because you could take as much time as you need. Because it's not a speed run. It's just a no-hit run. Dino Sigil. Guile, not Gil. Interesting, interesting. Dino Sigil. I think I've heard it pronounced the other way, but you're probably right. They probably didn't know how to pronounce it either. What about the part in Sekiro you're supposed to lose right in the beginning? If you get hit in a cutscene, it doesn't matter. But like, when you fight against Genichiro in the beginning, you just do that fight. You can beat him. You can win the fight, but then you get hit in the cutscene. Getting hit in the cutscene doesn't count towards a hit. Yeah, I like these lands a lot more than the Zendikar ones. I think they're really good. They pitched another Solitude. Alright, so when I've got, instant speed stuff up, I don't want to slam the Teferi into a counterspell. And so keep me posted on how he's doing. Because I might end up... I'm in this chat like every single morning. I watch him every single morning as I'm doing stream prep. And we're pretty friendly. He raided me one time after I gave him a big shout out. So if he's like in 6th game, I might, and depending on like what time it is here for us here, I might end the stream a little early to give him a raid. How do I feel about blue-red Murktide with the current meta? I think it's fine, totally fine. I think it could use some innovation though. Like it's possible that the best, like you could splash white for ending or black for Kolaghan's command. That would make you like a lot better against either Rest in Peace or Chalice, or just Chalice if you splash black. So I need to probably be working on that a little bit. Yeah, if you type !Dino in chat, D-I-N-O, it'll link to his channel. Always get so excited. I actually think he's got a really good chance to get the run today, just because like he was stuck on Sekiro so long. He had never no-hit Sekiro. He got it for the first time very recently. We really need a 5th land here. Let me go attacking first. He got it for the first time very recently, but he's done like the rest of the 5 games hitless, which is insane. It's just like years of mastering the craft, right? He did those 5 games. He's done the other 5 in a row like 3 or 4 times now. All right, I'm gonna name 4 here. Yeah, I mean, it's also like the no-hit runs. It's one of my favorite things to watch on stream, because it's like it's so intense because the run can be over at any moment. Where it's kind of unlike a speed run, where speed runs sure, like maybe your like world record attempt or like your PB ends, but they like will often finish the run. But as soon as a hit happens, it's over, you know. And there's a lot of hits that happen. Yeah. I think I've played some Dark Souls on stream before too. I think I really enjoy watching it. Maybe I'll stream some again at some point. Is Stream Deck updated? See Typhoon. The Typhoons are in the sideboard. Look there. There's 4 for Wrath Cryptics. Yeah, they're also playing Memory Deluge. We saw Memory Deluge last game. They had 4 mana up, so like they might have like just not cast Memory Deluge in the response, thinking I wouldn't name 4, and they might have Deluge. Love to draw a land. I think I'm attacking. If my opponent spends their whole turn colonnading Teferi, I don't think I'm that worried about it. Is Cryptic worse than Charm? Yep. Charm is really good. Cryptic's not that good. Narrowly escaped the jaws of defeat here. Ninja, thank you for tier 1. Can you flashback Polluted Prelate on 4? No. It still has the same mana value of 4. Good question, though. Ninja, thank you for tier 1. I think I like the Esper Reanimator deck with Chalices more than without. Although it's definitely close. Alright, let's let that go. September got me. I watch every day before work. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Alright, Flusterstorm this one. Dude, I haven't hit anybody with a Sword of Feast and Famine in a long time. I didn't get to do it last night in my testing. I just have it in the sideboard. I think Maul's better in the main deck. This feels right. How do you get the record extension? I don't remember. I have to type. Maybe there's a command. If you might type !record in the chat, that might work. I'm gonna counter that. I think Force Negation main as blue red needs. Do you think Force in the main is the answer blue red needs to be okay at the moment? No single card is for a blue red deck is going to be what is carrying their deck into prominence or success. You know, Force Negation is a totally fine main deck card, but you also say blue red. You know, I kind of think Blue Moon is like the best blue red deck at the moment. Blue Moon seems really good to me. Okay, we didn't see Murktide that game. I think I'm gonna assume they don't have it. I'm gonna cut the rest in peace for Third Seas. Is Dredge dead? I don't think it ever completely dies, you know. It's probably something you can play if you feel like Graveyard Hate is not popular, but Graveyard Hate is like incidentally very popular and doesn't really have anything to do with Dredge, but Dredge is suffering because of it. Alright, I'm gonna get greedy here. Although maybe that's bad because I should have. If I bought on 2 lands, I'm less likely to draw them. So maybe I should have kept a fetch, but I just draw anyways. Why Feast and Famine over the other swords? Feast and Famine is very good against these kinds of matchups and very good against like big mana decks. Sword of Fire and Ice, like of all the popular decks in the metagame, like it's just not the best sword against like any of them. I think Zan broke it and stand with Isildur. Been playing it for 12 hours straight. See, I don't know how Zan does like all these like crazy long streams so consistently. Like I did like 3 or 4 in a row recently, and I was just dying. But also, I don't really know what standard looks like. Yeah, built differently. Missing land drop. So I don't want to give my opponent the window to use mana here and counter a spell and not have to go to discard. So I'm going to cycle Shark Typhoon rather than cast Charm. They could steal, I guess. No, they just go to discard. Yeah, see how they immediately tapped that mana? Because they really wanted to use their mana to counter something, but we did not allow them to do so. Liliana looks like Sleeper Bomb. I don't even remember Liliana being in the set. I believe you, though. So I think we're just going to do the same thing here. The Typhoons have been really good. We should probably just play 3rd Typhoon over the Geist. They're so good in these kinds of games. Bad new cards addressed on Shadow? No. The deck didn't really get anything. Is Brainstorm playable Blue-White X? Only if you're Miraclein. Only if you're Miraclein. I think I should play Stoneforge. Maybe you go ahead and rent the 3rd Shark Typhoon. Spells can't be countered. Oh, Lear. I thought you were talking about Liliana for some reason. It's a cool card. But Brainstone, Luris, Band, Valkyrie Miracles, Ice Fang, brings Light Valky. I don't think Ice Fang works in that mana base. But we've done Brings Light Miracles. I think I like trophied my first league with it. Thought it was decent, and then never really had that many good leagues after it. Which happens a lot, right? When like people just don't know how to play around your deck. I'd love to draw a land, and this way we can go. We can bait a counterspell with Feast and Famine potentially, and then resolve Teferi. I like Sword and Dice against exactly Murktide. It's not even that good against them, right? It's so mana inefficient. It's so mana like that matchup is all about mana efficiency. And it's like obviously it's good if you get to equip it to a creature and they don't have Murktide in play, but it's so hard to equip a sword to a creature against Blue-Red Murktide. Oh no! I meant to cast the stupid sword first. Sorry, chat. It's fine. We still get to resolve something here. Sword's not bad. Ending the 2/2 shark. Ending the 1/1 shark. 3 mana up. Smack them with the cave. I can't equip those. This is 5 mana to activate. Next, if I draw a land next turn, I can equip. I can activate and equip. Okay, I also feel like Hall of the Storm Giants is enough better than Cave of the Frost Dragon that maybe we want to play 2. The problem is like I really want 14 white sources. Turn 1 white sources. But if this was Hall of the Storm Giants, they'd just be dead. Why not Colonnade? Colonnade sucks. That card enters tapped. I am a Celestial Colonnade hater. Yeah. These main lands are a lot better than Colonnade, in my opinion. Just like entering untapped is so absurd. And it's also like, I want untapped white sources on turn 1, you know? In my Esper Sentinel Prismatic Ending deck. You know, I have 8 1-mana white spells. Like, I'm really interested in untapped white mana on turn 1, which Colonnade, like, you know, doesn't accomplish for me. You know, there's 2% going from 14 to 13. Yeah, I don't know, but 14 is like a really nice number to have for all these 1-mana white drops. Yeah, it wouldn't be the end of the world for sure if we if we cut this for another Hall of the Storm Giants. Yeah, this is not bad. This card is also really good against Dragon Rage's Channeler. It's a 3/4 flying blocker that they have to attack into. Two cards in their hand. Maybe I should have equipped first, but I kind of just like... Okay, they can make a 5/5 Shark. What a headache. You guys just want to not play around Shark Typhoon? Attack first. Yeah, I guess that's good. Equip, attack, and then if they have Shark Typhoon, we bounce the Shark. I don't know, but they eat my creature here. They just get to kill the creature. And then they get to kill the Teferi. But I think that's just I think this is still my best line. If they don't have Shark, we're still in good shape. So I guess what they're thinking about is chump blocking and then sharking. Yeah, if only it was sort of Fire Eyes. Yeah. Alright, they decide to... I feel like this line isn't good. I feel like they should have just chump blocked. Maybe not. I guess I lose the Prelate. If only we could cast that here. It's pretty good, though. They have 3 cards. One of them is Teferi. They bounce my sword. They probably should, so they're not dead to land. Oh, bounce Snapcaster. Bounce Snapcaster. Stupid Counterspell isn't on anymore. They don't have anything they can Snapcast that's an answer to my Cave. Do I attack them or do I attack Teferi, though? Probably the Teferi without the Counterspell in my hand. They can just go Snapcaster, target Charm, block, draw 2. They also have a Solitude. Alright, game. Close one. Crumbling after our nice 2-0 start. Matches have been pretty good, though. Matches have been pretty good. Play against 2 control decks. Control's back on the menu. It's been back on the menu. Control's a good archetype. Okay, this is definitely a hand where we want the Cave instead. I'm going to keep this. Put Mulls to 6. Alright, they mull to 5 and they play Rustvale Bridge. So I have to assume that this is like red-white boom bust. We have any red-white boom busters in the chat? Sentinel would be so strong on turn 1 against their deck. Getting busted. Chalice. Our whole deck's crumbling. I just told him Counterspell. Got a lot of answers to Chalice. It's really not that big a deal. Seize their bridge. It's still an artifact. They also have another good target. I guess though that cuts them off red. I'd rather hold up Charm this turn though. Frenzo, 7 months. Thanks, buddy. I think I lost my substreak. Lol. No, it says 7 months for me. Yeah, Breeding Pools for ending and then the explosives on the board. PC, 3 months. Thanks, buddy. So I can ending the Chalice. I just want to play Stoneforge Mystic with Counterspell up. Oh, that's a good sentence. I think I just want to play Stoneforge Mystic with Counterspell up. That feels really nice to say. We'll let this one go. Explain that to a modern player in 2019. Actually, explain it to them that it's, you know, not all that good. Morning Spider. So let's go. Activate Mystic, put in Kaldra, I think ending the Chalice. Use Nightbot, or am I just use the MTG bot? I think it's just MTG bot. It is just MTG bot. Is this bust? Oh, Chalice on 3. Interesting. It's pretty good. Let's Spreading Seas their flagstones. Dude, it's yeah, Chalice on 3 is nuts here. We have lethal next turn though. Wait, they have a lot of 3-drops in their deck too. Hold on. They have a lot of 3-drops, right? At least like a decent number. Could we not have played Ending and Sentinel? I'm gonna put in Batterskull instead of doing that, which is way better. Yeah, it does stop Force of Negation. My brewer, my thoughts on using the internet to source collective knowledge of every MTGO player on the planet and to refine a strategy. I'm not sure how much of that question is a meme and how much of it is real, but getting feedback on your brews is really important. It's really important to get advice and feedback from people. You know, it doesn't matter really how smart you are. Okay, well, this is indestructible, so that doesn't do anything. Doesn't matter how smart you are, you know, someone else is always going to be able to compensate for a gap in your knowledge. Oh, I think they thought Kaldra would exile itself, but it's combat damage instead of just damage. I think they thought that it would exile itself. That's not how it works. Well, I mean, Spreading Seas is probably fine against them. I don't know. Not sure. I feel like maybe I want one Prelate, one Spreading Seas. Seems fine. Hey Doom, how you doing? This notes around 22 lands. Have we had any mana issues? Yeah, we've had mana issues on both Mana Screw, Mana Flood. I think 22 is the right number. What number do you think is the right number? Yeah, but we've had both Screw and Flood today, just like with any deck, right? If you seize on one of the bridges, are they still indestructible? I don't think so. I think they're still artifacts. Sentinel's been really, really good. I think it's like the reason to play this deck, to be honest. Breeding Pool is probably for ending replaceable events. It is, yeah, but I like Breeding Pool as a bluff equity against, because we're a Stoneblade deck. I think bluffing Ice Sphinx is like a pretty relevant card to bluff. Opponent mulls to 6. This great. Cave pulling its weight this game. Yeah, I really think 14 untapped white sources is really important. Otherwise, I'd play 2 Hall of the Storm Giants. Oh boy. Although I am cutting the guys for the 3rd Shark for next league. Yeah, bluffing Jade Avenger. Got a paper 2K coming up. Do you think Alpine Moon is good enough for us to play 3rd? It's very close. Go with your gut. It just always feels so good when they just play into the Esper Sentinel because they just don't have a choice. Why didn't that work? Kaldra is didn't have headphone. Okay, Kaldra only says when combat damage is dealt. Do you exile the creature? Only combat damage. I think I'll Kaldra. Yeah, I missed something nice. The card's pretty good. You can maybe sideboard it in this deck. Oh, that's a bit awkward with your Sanctum Prelates.
But I'd probably play it over Path. But I might play Solitude over any of them. Like a third Solitude. We already have two. Yeah, there's really just no downside to playing Snowlands. And especially if you're playing the breeding pool for that bluff equity of Ice Fang, it just is like really, really free. Yeah, Sentinel's really, really good in Modern. It's just one of the best cards. Do you think a black-white version of this deck with discard spells would work? Well, like a version with of this deck is kind of weird to answer. Okay, I'm gonna Slamgeist. Since like this deck is playing Sanctum Prelate as one of its like big interactive spells, right? And so you like lose Prelate, you lose or like you can't really play Prelate and all these 1-mana discard spells. It would be a very different deck, but people do play Black-White Stoneblade. Those people live in a sewer, the Black-White sewer. They're swimming around. They're trying to find a good deck in the sewer. It's like a recurring meme on the channel, and they do play it. And Gabriel's Deceive is kind of the sewer king. The end boss lives in the very center of the sewer. Yeah, the sewer king. Consider adding grief of him, right? Pretty good suggestion, dude. Yeah, and Gabriel the Thief is a man who wears many hats, most of them yellow. Two-time Pro Tour champion, Player of the Year, Hall of Famer, Bob the Dog, Yellow Hat, and King of the Sewer. You ever equip a Batterskull into a Geist of Saint Draft? Yeah, the sewer dwellers are waiting for their king to return. Wouldn't Stevens be better than Breeding Pool? Occasional 4-color when opponents have Yavimaya. Yeah, that is relevant against Mono Green Tron. It's pretty big brain. Yeah, against Mono Green Tron, you can ending a card in the Great Creator if they have Yavimaya and you have Steam Vents. It's so narrow though. It's so narrow, but I guess I can get the freaking Steam Vents then. I guess I'm gonna rent a Steam Vents. What a good suggestion. Steam Vents is also better because of Urborg too. Yeah, it's just I can't argue there. Maybe I should play the Stoneforge, but they can really only get out of this with the Wrath. We get to hit them with the man land. Any reason to not bounce the bridge? Oh, I just totally forgot I could. Still wouldn't be able to counter this. Oh, we would because they would pay. Okay. They're dead to my man land, though. I guess I could have tapped them out with the Flusterstorm, but it shouldn't matter. Because you can Flusterstorm basically anything else. And let's add the Steam Vents. I can't remember the last time I was... Wait, did I not finish the trade? I can't remember the last time I was given such, like, narrow tech. Like, this is maybe, like, the narrowest margin I've seen ever, but it does seem correct.
Interesting. The College of Tech. Alright, Cave the Frost Dragon, you let me cast Esper Sentinel on turn 1. And now you will kill my opponent. Why is Steven's correct? Because if your opponent has Yavimaya or Urborg, you can Prismatic Ending for 4. It's like, it's super narrow, but it is actually relevant against Mono Green Tron specifically, where they play a 4-drop in Karn the Great Creator, and they play Yavimaya. So it's just like, I can't really argue with it. Shizo plus Shinka. Those.